Somebody said to me, Mel, if we bring Donald Trump back, he's going to become a dictator. He's going to kill all his enemies. Well, listen, this is a war against dark and light. Someone's got to win, someone's got to lose. If I'm Donald Trump, all the things that they're doing to this man, of course I'm going to kill all my enemies. He's going to go gangster on them, and he should. And he should wipe them clean.
And he has a legitimate legal basis for treason. He's not going to kill him just because they're his enemies. He's going to kill him because they've all committed treason and crimes against humanity.
And we're going to allow these people to coexist according to this one liberal person that I talked to, which I won't mention this person's name. We're going to allow these people to coexist side by side. You're telling me that we're going to put evil on a planet that coexists? No, someone's got to go. Someone's going to stay, and we're staying. That means someone else is going. Great.
Joining us now on Sovereign Radio from the great Sunshine State of Florida, gentlemen, I have a great fondness for. We met in San Diego, a couple years ago, and he was kind enough to entertain us at one of his homes in San Diego that has the great technology. Dr. Sandra Rose Michael, a dear friend of mine and dear friend of our guests, and producer Mark's. The great EESystem, scalar energy. This man is all over that. He has a couple of centers, healing centers. He is a man that knows all about crypto and the coming financial reset. And he's hosting an event called the Quantum Financial Summit. We'll talk about that. Welcome, everybody, Mr. Mel Carmine. Mel, it's great to see you.
Well, thank you, Scotty, and thank you, Mark, for having me. It's an absolute honor and pleasure to hang out with some big boys like you guys. You know, there's an old saying, if you want to hang out with the big boys, you got to learn how to pee in the tall grass. I don't know if you ever heard that one before, but...
Well said on the streets of Chicago, where I grew up.
Yeah, Quantum Summit 1776.com. The tickets are going very, very fast. We have Lara Logan coming. We have the who's who. You're speaking at the event. We got quite the list. Now we have my good friend Rob Cunningham coming as well. I'm going to pull up the website. This way I could give you an accurate list of people who are coming. The speaker list is like the who's who of also the XRP community. We have Dr. Sherry Peel Jackson. She's the lady that would knock your doors down if you don't pay your income taxes. And then she found out it was a scam and that the IRS is registered in Puerto Rico. And she started investigating even more and more. And then she verified it was a scam, 100 trillion%. We got Versan from Black Swan Capitalist. We got Molly Elmore. We got the truly yours, one Savine, okay, is confirmed to coming down. You're going to be at the event. We got Kerry Cassidy. We got Rob 007. We got quite the cast, okay? And we got
let's come back. Let's come back to the event. We'll get to that. I want people I kind of want to build to the event because you're very knowledgeable about crypto and the financial coming reset. And Mark and I don't get to talk to too many guys that have an understanding like we do, that you possess, of the reset, the role that cryptocurrency, specifically XRP and XLM, are going to play. So let's start from ground zero. You were on the show a while back. It's been some time. We have a lot of new listeners. Let's give people a sense of who Mel Carmine is. How did you get to where you're at, being an expert? I consider you an expert in the crypto space and into the scalar energy healing and healing centers. What's your background? Where you come from? Tell us your story.
Sure. Well, I'm a Sicilian immigrant. My mom realized that there was not a lot of opportunity in Sicily, and there's always a good possibility that some of the boys that grow up, become part of the outfit. Okay. And she did not want us to become part of the outfit based on the fact that, some of her family was involved with that stuff. So she broke the chain. We moved up north. My uncle started to make frequent trips. She got scared. I'm going to give you the short and skinny. She called her brother in the States and said, hey, can you get us over there and long stories, they sent us green cards in the mail. We did it the right way. We came in through the right door, like Donald Trump says. We went back to Sicily. We said goodbye to everybody. We got on a boat called Anna Marie Quinn, a Greek boat with Greek food. My family, my mother and father did not like Greek food at the time. The Greek cuisine was not the best in the world. We're going back, 40 some years ago, 50 years ago. And so we were on at sea for 21 days and we got to the States. And boom. So the mafia ties were broken because I'm absolutely sure, based on the fact that there was no opportunity there. When I went back for my 56th birthday to visit, she said, "What do you think?" I said, "Well, I think you did the right thing to get me the hell out of here. Otherwise, I would have been the godfather of the entire island. Because if I'm going to go chase the money and the money says you got to be a gangster, well, that's exactly what I would have been." And
you
so,
telling me your parents didn't like the Saganaki, the Opa, the flaming cheese? Come on.
I'm telling you. So with that, we got into the pizzeria industry. I got into multi-level marketing. I got into sales and marketing. I got into sales consulting. I ran the gamut. Okay. And so about 9 years ago is when we got into the crypto sphere. I got involved with a scam called OneCoin, and it was, I spent 1,700 euros, exactly that number. And sometimes you have to spend some money in the school of hard knocks to learn your lesson. But that was a lesson well learned. I realized, hey, this thing opened my. Some people would be very bitter about that. I wasn't bitter. I said, hey, it's not about being bitter. It's about being better. You know what I mean? And so that was a school for me. $1,700. It was a lesson that opened up my eyes to the crypto world. I like to call them digital assets. Crypto is what the cabal wants for you. They want you in the crypt. I'm not going there. Neither are you. Okay. So with that, we got involved with investing, and I took some of the money from my silver, which was a slow boat to China at the time. Now it's actually starting to go, and we parlayed it over into some digital assets, and we grew like $6,000 into $245,000 in like 6 months. That was more my speed. I'm like, okay, this is a lot better than silver that's sitting in my safe collecting dust, right? And so
when you got into crypto, let me ask you, did you get into crypto at first? Was it Bitcoin and the more the cryptos of the past, not the future?
I did. I did get involved with the Bitcoin, and I was a Bitcoin, not Nancy, because you can't call yourself a Bitcoin Nancy unless you have at least 20, 30 Bitcoins. And I didn't have 20, 30 Bitcoins at the time, but we did mine a few. And those few, we sold them during the peak of 2017, and we took that money, parlayed it over to the one that's going to be the final Bitcoin, which is XRP. And the one that got me into it was my wife. She said, "Hey, listen, big boy, it's not going to be Bitcoin. It's going to be XRP." So she finally got me to sit down, and she said, you're going to watch some videos. And I got addicted. I couldn't, the videos were coming out so fast, but I was consuming them faster than they were coming out. So with that, when I realized that the minefield is so complicated and the average person is going to get literally blown out of the water, they're going to come into the movie theater, they're going to walk right back out because it's too complicated for the average person. I said, we got to make it simple. So with that, we came up with a website called QFS1776.com. It's the Holy Grail. It's like a school for children. Okay. We made it kindergarten simple. Okay. You go in, you watch the videos from top to bottom, and you start to understand what the process is. It's not that difficult. Yes, you have to jump through a few hoops. I can't do it for you. You got to do that on your own. Okay. So,
but let's start with, your background is interesting because kind of hard knocks, coming off on a boat.
Yes.
I'm sure the boat ride over was not fun.
No.
I'm sure it was painstaking. Your family came over, as you said, the right way. You guys knew you were coming for a better life. The reason that people should come here, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the right reasons that our grandparents and your grandparents and interesting enough, your parents. So you're a first generation American.
Exactly.
So we know there's a coming financial reset. For those listeners who don't understand what's coming, suffice to say, the Federal Reserve banking system is collapsing. Yes. That includes the stock market and anything that's driven by the central bank fiat US dollar, which is backed by exactly nothing. The good faith and credit of the United States doesn't wash anymore. So let's prepare our listeners, Mel. with your knowledge, we're moving into this new system called QFS. Take it from there.
Quantum Financial System. That's exactly what it stands for. In 1972, we land in New York with the boat Anna Marie Quinn, and we land on August 18th. Ironically, it is 1972. What happened in 1972 was historic. The SWIFT system was born in 1972.
And Nixon took us off the gold in 71.
Bingo. So we move into the SWIFT system, a way of moving money, which is very, very slow and cumbersome and expensive. And there's a bunch of people that take commissions along the way. It lands to like 5 different brokers before your money lands to where it is you want it to land ultimately. And the system that we're about to replace is the system of when I landed from Sicily in New York, okay, which is called XRP. XRP will take over that system because it's scalable to 3.5 trillion. I didn't say billion or million. I didn't stutter and I didn't make a mistake and I didn't misspeak. I'm telling you fact. This has already been proven and we have irrevocable, irrefutable evidence. The XRP system could be scalable to 3.5 trillion transactions per second. This is the King Kong that's in the cage that weighs 99,000 pounds, that every banker knows it's there, and they don't want to talk about it because they're afraid of it. They're afraid of what? They're afraid of the fact that they realize their goose is cooked, hence the reason when we were down in Oklahoma not too long ago, March 8th, March 9th, and I told General Flynn, I said, with all due respect, you don't know what the hell you're talking about when he's telling the world that the sky is falling and the central bank digital currency is going to rule us. And I made the valid point. And I've asked this question 1,000,000 times, and I'll ask it 1,000,000 more times. And people that understand the question, which is a very simple question, is if I want to buy something from you and I can send the money directly to your wallet, and I have the option to do that, why do I need a central bank digital currency? Now, if you don't think that the central bank digital currency, central banks of the world know that, and they know that their goose is cooked, you'd be making a very big mistake.
Mel, stop there a second, because I want to point out to our listeners what the globalist central bankers want going forward is something called a CBDC, a central bank digital currency. In their world, that digital currency will control our lives. We'll have complete control over how much money we spend, what we spend it on. If you don't believe me, ask the Chinese. There already have been in a similar system, but under the new system, the digital currency will be this XRP that Mel is talking about. So I wanted our listeners to understand that this quantum financial system is online. It's on a blockchain where every transaction is accountable, verifiable. You can't hide money. You can't bring dark money, drug money, human trafficking money. Criminal money cannot come into the system. Is that a fair statement?
Very fair. Absolutely. So look, we're going into a system where, people don't realize we got 8 billion people, although they, that medical procedure that they try to kill us off with didn't work so well. Okay. Even though I think 100 million people, which is nothing to sneeze at, which is more than, World War I, World War II, the Korean War, Vietnam, all of them combined have literally, left the planet already. Okay. They don't realize that 3.2 billion people on planet Earth right now are unbanked, and they're about to become banked, not through the Bitcoin system, not through the Ethereum system. They're going to be banked through the ISO 2002 gold-backed compliant. Okay. And that's what the banks are going to have to do. They're going to have to be, and whoever survives, because there's banks closing, according to Lynette Zhang, left and right. There's been like 900 banks that are literally closed. So you have India, have Africa, you have Southeast Asia unbanked. Well, what does that mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means that 3.2 billion people on Earth don't have a freaking bank account. That's what that means. So they're about to become banked with what? The XRP, the XLM, the XDC system. And when that happens, when that reality sets in and you're moving quadrillions of dollars worldwide, because if you got 3.2 billion people, folks, and they're moving $1,000 a month each to do commerce around the world, an average of $1,000, which is not a lot of money in today's world, right? $1,000 times 3.2 billion, that is a behemoth amount of money. And you're not going to do it with a 60-cent token or a 50-cent token. Recently dipped down to 44 cents. People were freaking out. Like, you should be rejoicing that they're giving you a fire sale so you can go buy some more and just wait until the Mexican standoff, because they're having a Mexican standoff with our money, ironically enough, right?
Mel, in simple terms, this QFS is a global, a worldwide system.
Correct.
Online with the blockchain. The QFS, the quantum financial system, will allow me to send my buddies in Australia, my buddies in Colombia, my friends in Ukraine,
yes,
and Romania. It'll allow us to do business directly together.
Right.
We'll be able to lend each other money, send each other money, transact with businesses around the world simply from our own wallets. There will not be a bank intermediary. Is that correct?
No, there's no need for them. See, let me tell you the story from the beginning, because I think it's worth telling the story. When Brad Garlinghouse and the XRP system was born, right? The bankers didn't take it seriously. But before we get started, folks, make sure you hit the pause button. Okay, go down below. There's a Rumble link. Go over to Rumble and follow us over there. QFS1776.com is, without question, the holy grail of what's to come. Okay, T-shirts. You got to get yourself decorated. This way people will ask you, what is XRP? What is the quantum financial system? What is this? What is that? And you send them where? To QFS1776.com, where they need to immerse themselves, because we're going to burn down this system down to the ground. And out of the ashes will rise the phoenix. There'll be nothing to go back to. Believe me when I tell you that. Unified TV will take over Netflix. We're bringing in the next genre of movie producers and storytellers and actors and actresses. And we're telling the story of how the world is going to be on earth as it is in heaven. Jesara and Nasara is coming. Don't make no mistake about it. Gold and silver right down below. Promo code Mel Carmine. Make sure you use the promo code. Almost $8 billion in sales. We're direct to like a bunch of mints. We are the ones that can get you the gold and silver directly to your door, okay, at the cheapest price. Don't even waste your time looking for a cheaper price. It doesn't exist. Also, our Telegram groups down below. If you want to learn what's coming and you're sort of a little scared, I understand. Believe me, I was there too at one point. Our Patriots are literally waiting for you in the room. And if you need more than $10,000 worth of XRP or $1 million worth of XRP, you come see me. Send me an email at QFS1776@gmail, and we'll get you as much as you want. Okay. There was recently one of the biggest lawsuits, not one of the biggest, let's just call it what it is, the biggest lawsuit ever in the history of finance. The Ripple lawsuit was the biggest, which is still now part 2 Mexican standoff, because they have to figure out on the settlement on the early sales of XRP that they're trying to say that they were securities, which they were not. But they're going to pay this maybe, $20 million fine, which that's a whole other story, and I'll get into that in a second. But the reality is, why did they get slapped with a lawsuit and they came out with a JP Morgan token? Because they had to slow the whole thing down, and JP Morgan thought he was going to do what? Copy the XRP system, which he failed miserably. Why? Because when he went to go hire people that build these tokens, they realized that anybody who's talented is working for who? Ripple. You understand? The talent pool was completely dried out. There was nobody home.
You introduced this idea of Ripple. Will you explain that?
Ripple is the company. XRP is the native token. If Ripple goes away tomorrow, forever, vanishes into thin air, XRP, because it's so well designed and so much needed, XRP will thrive. And I believe that the Treasury, and I believe Ripple, and I believe whatever's left of the Federal Reserve is going to merge together, and Ripple may very well become the biggest bank in the history of the world.
Folks, understand something. You are going to have your own banking online. You will not need a bank. You will not need an intermediary. You'll have a digital wallet. From that wallet, you'll create sub-accounts to pay out to people. And it's all secure, lockdown security. You will not ever have any issues with criminal activity, the fraud that we get with credit cards now, and people stealing from each other's bank accounts, and all the fraud, the RICO laws that are violated, all the fraud that's going on globally is completely eliminated, is it not, Mel?
Yeah, exactly. You can no longer finagle the bagel, no matter which way you try. It's impossible. That's why we're launching the Quantum Summit 1776.com. It's not just about finances, folks. It's about staying healthy, getting healthy. It's about grounding. It's about growing your own food. There's a lot of cabooses we got to put back on the tracks because everybody was distracted with let's make a deal and come on down, Scotty. It's your turn to be the next contestant on The Price is Right. Bullshit.
What I like about you, Mel, is you're not just all hung up on the financial aspect, the changes that are needed to the financial system. It's got to be obvious to every listener that our financial system doesn't work for we the people anymore. It never really did. 1913, the Federal Reserve pulled the wool over Congress's eyes at midnight one night, God knows when, in 1913. I think it was December of 1913. And they pulled the wool. The middle of the night, they passed the Federal Reserve Act. From that day forward, folks, we were in a central banking system that was designed for the bankers to win. As Mel said, when we send money to one another now, it goes through many different hands. It goes from a bank to the Federal Reserve Swiss system to another bank. And before it ever gets to you, it's been through 3 or 4 parties, everyone taking fees off the top. Imagine a world where we're sending each other money and you're doing business with a digital wallet. I assume we'll be able to use our mobile devices to transact retail wise, right, Mel?
Yeah, absolutely. 100,000%. But think about this for a second. You said they did it in 1913. Do you know what day they did it on at midnight?
I don't remember the day. No.
Christmas Eve.
That I knew it was December. I knew it was December. Yeah.
Okay. It was Christmas Eve when everybody's doing what?
Right.
Everybody's invited over somebody's house,
attention.
having a glass of wine, champagne, drinking some stuff or eating some stuff, right?
Now they pass these omnibus bills in the broad daylight when we're watching, but we have no idea what's in the 3,000-page omnibus bill, right?
Exactly.
We have no idea what's packed into these gargantuous bills they pass it. Mel, what's the real key to the average listener here? What will they benefit most from this new quantum financial system? What are the key benefits?
Well, look, there's going to be a whole new class of people getting very, very wealthy. They know this. And because they know this, and see, this happened once before. The key benefits is obviously when you have a lot of money, you're going to be able to buy a better quality of life. We're going to move into a system that's going to be organic food. We're going to clean up the atmosphere. We're going to clean up the dirt. We're going to clean up the water. We're going to clean it all up back to pristine levels that were 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago before Christ. Okay. And they realize that we have the power because that's why they don't want Trump back. He's the biggest FU card you could possibly imagine. He doesn't want to give you a flying car, Scotty. He wants to give you a flying condominium. What happens to hotels.com? What happens to Airbnb, a leftist company? What happens to all the hotels and motels if you got something that could fly from point A to point B anywhere in the world? You can be anywhere in the world in 17 minutes flat, that you can have a meal on board, you can have a shower on board, you got a place to sleep, which you don't even really need to sleep. If you get somewhere 17 minutes, the only reason why you need to sleep is because you got there and you're tired and you want to sleep. But other than that, you really don't. 17 minutes to get you anywhere in the world.
Mel, pass me whatever you're smoking, buddy, please. No, this is all future stuff, but I believe we'll see it in our lifetime. I really do.
Yeah. He wants to give you a medical bed. Scott, you wouldn't mind living to be 2,000 years old and still be able to have sex when you're, 1,776 years old, do you?
Hell, I'd like to have it when I'm 76 years old, so forget about 1,076. I'm going to be 76 in 15 years. So, Mel, but I want to go back to something you said. It's very important.
Sure.
When I asked you the benefit, you said when you have a lot of money. So how will the average American or European,
well, there's going to be a lot of humanitarian.
How will we all have a lot of money?
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of humanitarian projects. And right now, there's still a window of opportunity for anybody who wants to go to QFS1776.com and study and get in. Okay. This is not financial advice. You should never follow an ex-pizza guy giving you financial advice. You'd be crazy too. However,
or a guy that's been in the media 40 years, because I've been a part of the belly of the beast in the system that created the Federal Reserve dollar. So you don't want to take financial advice from me.
absolutely. So, look, we allowed the monster to get so big that now the monster wants to kill us because we're useless eaters. We're taking up too much resources and they want those resources for themselves. So the best way to do it is to get rid of us. But getting back to this quantum financial system that's getting ready to happen in spades, NESARA-GESARA is very real. I was able to, arm wrestle one Osavin, and I got him to buy XRP. Right now, he's still poo-pooing NESARA-GESARA. I give him 6 months. I guarantee you, he'll say NESARA is the best thing since Haagen-Dazs ice cream.
NESARA-GESARA may be new terms for some of our listeners. So I'll quickly say to folks, and we don't have time, that would take a series of shows.
Sure.
Probably a dozen shows, an hour each to explain. But NESARA stands for the National Economic and Security Act.
Right.
And GESARA is the Global Economic Security Act. And these are acts by which, over a period of time, we will all be made whole on this earth financially.
Do you remember Trump traveling around the country and the world? He went to look. He's dropping breadcrumbs. He tells you we got a collage video, which is
you're talking about the Trump capitulation tour.
That one too.
Yeah,
that one too. But what I'm saying is, he went to an RV company. He turns around and he says to Melania, "Hey, I think I'm going to get one of these and go traveling around the country." You mean to tell me the guy that, takes a, what, on a toilet seat that's 24 karat gold is going to travel around in an RV? No, he's trying to tell you there's a revaluation coming.
Yeah.
He wants to give you
RV standing for a reval.
Right. He wants to give you the technology. He wants to give you he wants to give you life extension technology. Think about this, Scotty, and we'll close with this. You have to get to point A to point. You had to go to Oklahoma, where I met you about a month ago, right? You had to get in your car, drive to the airport. You had to take your belt off and your shoes off, and then you had to go through this machine, and somebody wants to swab your whatever. And
that's all thanks to 9/11 and the Patriot Act, by the way. Thank you.
Absolutely. But what I'm trying to say, they've had the technology, as in past tense, in Wright-Patterson, Area 51, S4, and who knows how many other military installations. You could have gotten to Oklahoma in less than 17 minutes, right from your garage. Think about the inconvenience. And then we get into a freaking thing made out of metal that resembles a bird that goes 600 miles an hour, and you guys think we're going fast. Okay? Think about the fact that we're still driving on a car that is an extension of a Model T Ford. What did the Model T Ford have? 4 tires with air in it. Oh, yeah, but I got a Lambo. You're an idiot. You don't understand you're part of the system. Somebody's keeping you on the rock, because as soon as you speed with that Lambo, woo, the cops are pulling you over and they're giving you what? A ticket. It's a form of taxation. Somebody doesn't want us to leave the rock.
Oh, you mean the speed limits are not for our safety? You mean I can't go 95 because it's not safe?
It's a joke, isn't
it? Think about it. If we're all going 100, why wouldn't it be just as safe if we're going 50?
But if they're trying to kill us, and if you're going 95, chances are, even in the Lambo, you're probably going to die, right? Why don't they allow us to kill ourselves by going 95? Did you ever ask that question? Or 195?
Well,
somebody's got their hand in your wallet every step of the way. Income tax, property tax, sales tax.
Yeah, it's designed for taxation every step of the way. And in between paying the illegitimate federal, state, and local and sales taxes, we're paying things like tickets, fines for late registration. And why do we have to register everything? It's all about the almighty dollar.
It's all about a control also. This way they know.
Let's bring this home. When do you think the QFS, this new financial system, nobody has a crystal ball, Mel, but
Nobody does.
what's the time frame? We talking 90 days, 120 days, a year, 2 years? When do you
Look,
see
it
this
could take
happening?
as much as 2 years, but even if Trump gets back tomorrow, yes, will things get better pretty quickly? But it's not something that you could roll out. We're talking about changing the financial, we're talking about giving the entire planet a complete facelift on the financial system. We're not
By
going
the
to
way,
do it overnight.
the system for the most part is already in place with the BRICS nations, of course.
BRICS nation is a camouflage for Nasara and Jesara, I think.
Yes, we agree with you. We 100% agree on that. But the BRICS system is up and running. It is asset-backed currency now, and they are using digital tokens. But be that as it may, what you're saying is there is no predicting the timeline.
No, this thing could happen in 6 months, and Trump can come back and say, "Hey, we're moving into this thing called NESARA-GESARA, but hold your horses. We're not going to get there as fast as you all would like to. It's going to take 2 years." Because why? Because we have to have real smart guys, consultants that go around the world to teach the nations the new system. Because everybody's got to be on the same page. No war, no more wars. Under Trump, did we have a war? Absolutely not.
No, we know we're headed for that kind of global peace and prosperity. The whole idea of this plan, and it was hatched in '63.
We need a flat tax. We need NESARA-GESARA. We need a new system. The old system is broken. Anybody who wants to stay in the old three-dimensional world, you're more than welcome to. I'm leaving. I'm getting the hell out of here.
Yeah, I think we're all ready, Mel. I think even those that are asleep, when the system comes and they see how much better it is, they'll adopt it pretty quickly. But Mel, talk about your upcoming financial summit, the Quantum Financial Summit.
Yeah, the Quantum Summit is going to cover everything from A to Z. We got the most amazing speakers, like I said earlier. We even have Sheila Holmes, Smitty, by the way. Hopefully he makes the announcement at the center that he's coming out with a better system that's on the blockchain, a video system that hopefully blows away YouTube, because I'll become his biggest promoter of it all. And I'll recruit all the podcasters, and I know all of them. And
who is Smitty?
Smitty is a producer, a music producer, one of the biggest ones. He's got over 400,000 people that follow him on Twitter. He's been on my show at least a half a dozen times. I could get him on your show if you like. He's got a system that's coming out where every time somebody clicks on your video, it's on the blockchain. All the parameters, all the permissions are all pre-programmed. You can't go back and refinagle the bagel. You got to leave it alone. Okay, so every time somebody watches your video, Scotty, what happens is you get paid. Wouldn't that be nice? Because he's a big XRP guy. Wouldn't that be nice? Smitty pays us in XRP.
I've heard of these systems, and I do believe they're forthcoming. So your summit is a number of speakers. I will be speaking
25.
There as well. 25 speakers. It's in Florida.
Yeah, Cape Canaveral, 166 Center Street, Cape Canaveral. June 8th, June 9th. We're going to start early in the morning. We're going to go till 8, 9 o'clock at night. If we stay upstairs, you're going to get the benefit of the EESystem. If we get, if we sell out too fast, which is what I believe is going to happen, we're going to go downstairs into a room that could fit about 617 and possibly as much as 717 people.
Well,
you don't know. Yeah.
Downstairs from EESystems, we're still going to get the benefit because that stuff
2.2 miles out.
Yeah, that stuff shoots out a couple miles. The benefit, the healing energy, the scalar energy goes out a couple miles. So, Mel, what will people learn at the Quantum Summit?
Well, they're going to know how to grow their own food. We're going to have some of the best, naturopathic people that show you how to get rid of your leaky gut. All the best products in the world to take. Because look, if someone's out there trying to kill us, would it be nice to know how do we fight back? What things to take, what things to stay away from. I stay away from Publix because I know that they got infiltrated and they're injecting something in the meat that I don't know what that stuff that they're injecting in the meat is. Whatever it is, even though I'm a O positive and I should be eating meat, I'm not going to be buying meat from Publix anytime soon. So you're
Closing,
you're going to learn everything. You're going to learn, they're going to have people on stage that have solutions that we haven't heard of yet, that we're not allowed to talk of yet, that you're going to hear only on stage. You're going to tune in worldwide. We're going to have, I think tomorrow we're going to go live selling tickets worldwide for $17.76. You could join from Australia, from New Zealand, from Europe, from Central America, South America, North Pole, the South Pole. It doesn't matter. If you got an internet connection, $17.76. Isn't that a beautiful price?
very clever, very clever. Mel, let me ask you a question to close out here.
Sure.
I see you're wearing a necklace with a Q.
Yes.
Now, this radio show covered the Q movement, the QAnon, as the mainstream media called it. It was a military psyop on the American people, actually global psyop, that put forth over 3,000 posts by this entity called Q.
Yes.
To me, it was a big reveal. It was a big education. It was giving us clues as to how the world was really being run in the background.
Sure.
What did Q mean to you?
Well, they basically are an army, like a sort of like an underground army, giving us breadcrumbs and clues. And everybody looks at the breadcrumbs and the clues, and everybody has a different meaning of what they mean. But when you meet that one person that says, this is what this means, and it resonates with you, it's like somebody just turned on a light bulb in your brain, and you say, yeah, that makes sense. Meanwhile,
I want to give people an example of a Q post. So Q would say something like, what was Hillary's Evergreen Shipping Company all about? What did they really ship? What were
Can I
they
tell
really
the story
moving
about
over
that?
the
Or do we have time to tell the story about Evergreen?
Sure. Hold on. Let me make sure people understand. Q would post these comments. What was Hillary's Evergreen shipping operation really all about? And we know it was human trafficking.
Yes.
They were moving kids around.
100,000%.
Those are the kinds of things Q would post, from Obama to Clinton to the central banking system to the deep state at large. It dropped a whole lot of, it opened my eyes to a number of things. And the best part is it unleashed the Anons, tens of thousands of digital soldiers that went digging. Every time Q posted, they went digging for information. They brought the information back. We collaborated over the information, and we sure learned an awful lot, didn't we?
Yep. There's a token called Flare Spark. We got an airdrop because we're part of the XRP system. So because they messed with us, whatever, I don't know if they felt sorry for us, but there's a very, very elaborate token that I believe is going to take just like XRP is going to be taken over by, rather, Bitcoin is going to be taken over by XRP. The Ethereum token is going to be taken over by Flare. Well, we find out that the Flare token, the people on the inside, the programmers, are part of that special letter, the QAnons, like you just mentioned. Do you remember that there was a ship in the Suez Canal that got taken over by a bunch of people? We know for an absolute fact, and we're not allowed to reveal how we know because we were sworn to secrecy, but I can tell you with no equivocation, okay, that ship was taken over by the same people who programmed Flare Spark, who are also people that are on the chat boards with the QAnon system, okay? And they took over that ship, and what did they do with that ship? They literally, the people on the ship became powerless. They could not steer the ship anymore. But whoever took that ship over, the best hackers in the world.
Yeah, were they the guys driving that? They were driving that cargo ship into the Baltimore Bridge?
They know that's possibility too. But what I'm saying, they took that ship and they drew a penis with it. They could see this with the satellite. They looked at the lines and it's a penis. And then they beached that bitch. You know why? Just to send them a message saying you're no longer in charge. Imagine being the captain of that ship, Scotty, okay? And you cannot control that ship, but someone else is driving that ship, and they draw a penis with your ship, and then they beat your ass. How would you feel? Powerless. Absolutely powerless.
I think that's the way the MO of the deep state cabal has always been, to make us feel powerless, to instill fear, but no mas, no more. They can't do it anymore.
But that's where the story stops. You feeling me? And who was the culprit of that? Or the champion? Donald Trump. That's why I love Donald Trump. Somebody said to me, Mel, if we bring Donald Trump back, he's going to become a dictator. He's going to kill all his enemies. Well, listen, this is a war against dark and light. Someone's got to win, someone's got to lose. If I'm Donald Trump, all the things that they're doing to this man, of course I'm going to kill all my enemies. He's going to go gangster on them, and he should. And he should wipe them clean.
And he has a legitimate legal basis for treason. He's not going to kill him just because they're his enemy. He's going to kill them because they've all committed treason and crimes against humanity.
And we're going to allow these people to coexist according to this one liberal person that I talked to, which I won't mention this person's name. We're going to allow these people to coexist side by side. You're telling me that we're going to put evil on a planet that coexists? No, someone's got to go. Someone's going to stay, and we're staying. That means someone else is going.
Yeah, and that includes the Federal Reserve central banking families, the 13 bloodlines that have run the world. You can kiss their ass goodbye.
Absolutely.
Well, Mel, tell our listeners again where they can find you and your event.
Absolutely. Quantum Summit, 1776.com. The links will be down below. You want to book your ticket early because pretty soon you'll see a sign says, sorry, sold out. And that's a fact. So there's going to be incredible. Oh, by the way, I think I said it earlier. Jace from Cosmic Crypto Academy is going to be there as well. He just got added to the list. All right. We got some of the best. We got Tanya Joy Gibson. She ran for she was runner up 1996 for Miss America.
Tanya Joy is a friend of mine. She's been on this radio show.
She is going to be on stage with you, Scotty.
Yeah, her interesting story. She has a daughter that transitioned from a girl to a boy.
Yes.
And Tanya spoke out about that at a school board meeting.
Yes.
And the online lefty, I forgot the name of the publication, went to her daughter and pitted mom against the daughter who doesn't respond to her birth name.
Told her story on my show too. Amazing
Tanya
story.
refuses to call her anything but her birth name, and she wants to be called by her boy name. Anyway, it goes to show you how they'll even pit mom against daughter and divide us that way. They'll divide us any which way. Yeah. Well, Mel, it's great to see you.
Do you know, by the way, do you know who SG Anon is?
Of course, he's a good friend of our show, and he's a good friend. Yeah.
SG Anon is going to be there, and so David the Lion, David XRP Lion, is going to be at the event. He's the guy that's saying that there's going to be $1 million buyout for every XRP, and today it's what? 49 cents. The question is, how many 49 cents? Even if he's half right, maybe if he's only 10% right, which is more towards the numbers of what I'm talking about, $100,000 buyout. How many 49 cents would you like to invest to turn 49 cents into 100,000, which is 10% of what the Lion is saying?
Well, that's the kind of transfer of wealth you were talking about earlier.
Bingo.
When you say people are gonna have money. Well, Mel, it's good to see you. We'll see you in June in Florida.
Yes, absolutely. Hello, folks. My name is Mel Carmine, and we are right in the middle of a tectonic shift, the biggest wealth transfer that is going to hit this entire planet like a tsunami on steroids. This will never happen again, at least not in our lifetime. Many of you still have the opportunity to get in right now. Joining our Telegram group is perhaps the smartest thing you'll ever do, and it won't cost you a single dime. We have tens of thousands of patriots waiting for you, and they'll take you by the hand to teach you the ropes so that you don't get slaughtered. Not the global reset. This is not the global reset, but rather the quantum financial system reset, the one that's attached to NESARA-GESARA. It's coming at us at 800 miles an hour. The question is, are you ready? Are you in position to receive wealth beyond your wildest dreams? There are 6 to 8 tokens that are going to completely and entirely dominate this landscape. And no, it's not Bitcoin or Ethereum. Join our Telegram group today, and don't forget to visit the Quantum Financial Systems Manual at QFS1776.com.